basically, if this renovation of Big John's filled in that bullet hole, they sealed Big John's blood inside the front of the building. People that sit in the front of the bar, kind of close to where you guys are at, kind of get a little like headaches, nausea, dizziness, that kind of mentality. This is why we start here. It's a heated warning to the 8 strangers standing in front of me. I don't know how this is going to affect any of you guys, but anybody gets any of those symptoms, let me know. We will blame this weather first, just so you know. Not everything's going to be a ghost with me. We will remove ourselves from the area and then assess it from there. Is that fair to everybody? Because things, it's all about the animals and ghosts in my house, so I always have to pay attention. Are you? Communication devices. So I'm going to focus because I don't know how yours is going to respond completely yet. Remember, you're only the second person to ever use it, so the 2 of you are going to have the same set of questions. Because I know what yours is capable of. You're going to focus on Eliza's death. She's pretty open about talking about it. So you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, or how old she was when she died.
Is this where your garden was? Are you dancing for me? I'm like drawn to this corner, but I don't know.
You'll see.
Perfect.
I mean, I'm gonna splice all those little videos together to make one for each camera.
Okay, sounds good.
Normally, like, we could have had some audio, maybe, you know, from Natalie's device while we were over here, like, hey, why are you drawn over there? You know, we could have heard something in the background that she missed in real time. So that's another reason why we like to keep it running. I know, like, you had the camera on her for a little while and there wasn't a figure for her. And it's dark, you know, out here. So, like, you can see how dark it is. If something does pop up,
but
I could take a screenshot of that and see that it is RHONNA that is making that figure.
But I've noticed my shadow will do it too.
Again,
from
absence of light. Oh, I was trying to get to you because anything with leaves is not your friend. All leaves are in front of another leaf. That's why I said the tree over there about Big John close to that window. So it's always going to make it look like a hangman in the tree, and it's not. It's just the leaves. So the leaves are in front of something else. So
got it. So
lots of debunking with this one.
Yes.
Lots and lots of debunking.
All right.
Jackson, anything else? Anything else you may have heard?
I got good answers, I think.
Yeah. Just my shadow.
Other tours, if they come in through here, they're going to come in through the ivy wall. So there is a little stairwell right there. So that might switch you. Just lower your cameras to the ground, let them pass through here. I can tell from the front. And after we leave here, we'll do a battery swap.
So doesn't this make it even more difficult because of so many leaves with something like
So that's
this?
why when you hold it as still as possible, you're going to see the things that are commonly going to show up. So even if you were to just like take it and grab that top handle and put it behind you like this, you're going to be as still as possible, and we're going to hopefully see if anything comes out of that abnormal. So even when we're taking photographs, I don't always bring out a regular digital camera anymore, but I always tell my folks take 2 pictures of the exact same thing. So that way if you have something in motion, it's not going to be in the same spot. So just try to be as still as possible when you're holding it. Get that back up and running? Yep. Okay. All right, so with this location, I know it's super warm down here, so I am going to breeze through this and we can search it if we need. All right? So and Jake, you got to definitely tell me if you got to spend anything above 8, and we'll kind of take things from there. This is Philadelphia Alley. It used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the jewels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So here's how the story goes, because literally every ghost story comes down here. I was going to take this out of my route, but this guy likes to follow me around the city, because every location we go to from here moving forward, we're near a place of raised emotion for him. So he always likes to poke his head front. Not to mention, this guy's story's been told for probably the past 40 or 50 years. I'm the only guy that comes by with people that can communicate back. So you guys are seeing the point. Anyway, here's how the story goes. The doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. In the event that the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up while we're here, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. But anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money. He tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. He comes to Charleston from Rhode Island to prove that he's not after her money. He's going to make his own down here. On his way into town, he had a coachman. That coachman set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. It's kind of a silly joke. You can chuckle, that's alright. Anyway, this is a couple of you grin, like really, that's a bad joke. Anyway, somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen to this newcomer, the doctor, and his name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. We were getting the letters R&I all the time. So, now Ralph, we were getting the RI from a radio spirit box, they go Bill's holding, so I bought another device. It's basically an EMF meter, but gives us letters. It acts like a digital Ouija board. So I bought it on purpose for this location. I've got about RI show up about 6 or 7 times in the past years I've had it. Anyway, moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe. Good to go. Doc took him up on the offer, and the 2 gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. Not after Amanda's money, making his own. Amanda gets wind of this, and she's moving down. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is why I hate the damn story. Every haunted city you will ever visit is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. This one just happens to be a doctor. So why are we in Jewelers Alley? It's Let's talk about that. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So on their way home from seeing the play one night, they were arguing over the new actress they just saw. Neither one of them had seen her before, and Doc thought she was great, but Ralph didn't. Ralph was then insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly between the two of them. They went their separate ways. So Ralph went to his friends at the newspaper the next day and placed an ad telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw this ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Google's out. We're going to settle this. Somebody's going to die. Keep in mind, this argument started over an actress. I just like to point that out of how dumb shit was back in the 1700s. Anyway, the two gentlemen came down here back to back. They took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. Doc pointed his gun in the air and he stopped. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. Ralph still has his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die. He fell to the ground, and Ralph proved his point. He's not willing to forgive. Doc's friends took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later, on November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about the last statement I just said. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds, a lot different back then than what we think of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out, and obviously he failed to die. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here, which is literally everyone, tells their guests to listen for the whistles as they walk through the alley. We have 3 cameras running, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a whistle, it's going to come up on one of those 4 devices. However, the device that Bill's using, the one I watch check, can't tell you how many times the whistling part of a song comes on and the word doctor immediately after. I do not look for these things. I listen to minute 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever shows up in those 1 minute increments is what I find. It happens all the time at this location. It's part of the reason why I won't leave this location out of my route. Now, if you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through here, I can't take you all the way through. Some of the spaces I've been kicked out of. Listen for the whistles through a voice recording from your phone. Just remember, every local knows this damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down the alley. It's just something we do here. So, gotta keep that in mind. Now, here's get to the fun part. I gotta get out of here and then we'll get out of here for real.
Yeah.
There used to be a wall halfway between us and Cumberland Street the way we came in. The reason why, this was called Cow Alley. This is where they kept all the livestock in the drove. Why am I telling you this? They started down there and worked their way over here slowly. Those bricks down there by Queen Street are older than the ones you're standing on. Those bricks are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, some fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about it. Remember how I feel about cemeteries. The kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find him. So November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there to show them the handprint so we can continue moving. They all stopped. Excuse me. They're huddled around that damn brick, waiting for something to happen. I know nothing's going to happen with the equipment that I handed them. We're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. Just trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds for tours. Wasn't allowed to take my groups down there. The owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical. She was probably about Jake's age at the time and thought it was great that her dad was getting yelled at. And she was able to witness it. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work on weekends because I own the company. I used to work in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this, and you guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time. I told him what happened. He laughed at me, just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. Reroute your group tonight. Well, guess what? It's Black Friday, and I'm sold out again. So I told my group, I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. I would normally be telling you a pirate story at the next location, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that one later. Now, before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating over there. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonnie. So I was like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. Took them around the corner, told them what I did know. Somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what the 300 meant. I wrote it down. So I'm doing research for them the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonnie's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. I normally get the, oh wow, that's pretty cool. I was pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm researching anything, especially, even this, especially this, I need facts and data. That's the problem. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the Golden Age of piracy. Whenever you guys found something over there over the past 4 years, I need to do a shit ton of research and read more books. That's a problem, because that takes up a lot of time.
Right.
I had this great story built up, and now they're monitoring that area to see if tours are even allowed in there at all. So I've been kicked out of it once. I don't want to risk getting another ticket against my business, so I'm just staying out of it for the time being until we can actually figure this whole piece out. Where we are going, we're going to be using RHONNA's camera as kind of, like I said, a focus piece of equipment. I will tell you what happens at that location, and we're going to get 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage from all 3 cameras, primarily RHONNA's, just based on what happens there. And all 3 spirit boxes will be listening in along the way after I give you the history. Listen from here to when we get around the corner. I'll tell the story, swap out the battery and lighting, and then we will kind of get some footage over there, and I will explain our last 2 stops from that location. Anything weird going on with your devices before we leave the space? Have we heard anything? Any spikes in EMF? What do we got going on? Nothing?
Keep
I
saying.
did get some whistling.
Did you get some whistling? Okay. So a little. Okay. So remember, we're looking for 8 or above. I know you were muted, Natalie. So this is a spot where you're like, dagnabbit, he talks the whole time. Footage looks like you guys were kind of all over the place, which is super great. So I know I usually say stay pretty still, especially with the one that Florence is using, just because we never know. Of course, now the air conditioner wants to stop when I'm losing my voice. Wonderful. So it was whistling that he heard. And Jackson, you got nothing? Just so you guys know, there is a rumor that Andrew Jackson actually had a duel down here as well. However, I did get in touch with our dueling expert here in Charleston. There's no proof of it anywhere. But if you walk through this alley and you move some of the foliage out of the way, you could see the sidewinder bullet holes inside the bricks. They're still there. That's why the foliage is built up as much as it is, to kind of hide some of those things. But yeah, let's go learn about this crazy story that's going on over here. It's been kind of weird with this one. You guys would agree with that? Alright, let's get all 3 cameras front and center. Natalie, go ahead and start on muting on yours, listening in. So RHONNA, let's get you front and center on this guy. And then we got to get Mr. Doug up here too. So you guys can go right up to the gate. You're going to get the best shot going right up to it. I'm going to point out where the grave is. First off, the sign is right below you, Miss RHONNA. That says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. And Sue's grave is the cross in the back to the left of it and 1 more row back. We were actually closer to her when we were in the alleyway, believe it or not. So with the 2 EMF meters that are actually out, we have seen a 9 and a 12 over in this area. So if you see any weird anomalies like that, like super quick, it only happens twice. But you got the spirit box now. I keep forgetting who's got one.
I think I hit someone where it's not sweeping.
What happened? I'm not even.
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, no.
It was there we go.
Recordings. Yeah, we'll get 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage over here and see if any of the spirit boxes give us anything. And then I'll explain our last 2 stops. Princess got the spirit box in there. And you've just been lone wolf with that. Nobody wants to swap with you on that guy.
Yeah.
Come on, Sue. I'm only going to be coming here another week or 2. There's a parable across the street, but I haven't gotten anything from it lately, so I haven't been able to get the story down to see, make sure all the clues are lining up.
Want to try this one, honey?
Vermont? Is that what I heard?
Help came over. I don't know. Help.
Okay, I got you.
My dog.
So the word dog would show up here all the time. It's actually relevant to Anne Bonny. Her famous quote is, "Jack, if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't have been hung like a dog." So the word dog shows up here all the time. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's a tree.
Someone's.
It's
almost
if
the
I
first
move it
small
around,
different histories
it's
around
picking
this
up and
location.
stuff over here. It's not.
I have to get him a job with me later. It's the most still camera I've ever seen. RHONNA, you too. Pretty damn still. What do you do for a living that your hands are that still?
Horizon.
Yeah.
by the way, do you guys see the lighthouse to the left? I'm sure you do. The church put that there on purpose to deter any people from taking photographs in this location because it obviously causes a light flare. Looks like you got a little something coming up on there, Bill. Did it come back?
No, I couldn't tell as I moved for a second.
It's probably picking up on that the giant headstone right there. Like the,
Gotcha. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
we did capture something in there with your camera a few weeks ago. That I was kind of like, okay, like a little bit of dancing around, like right in front of us.
Yeah.
And you can zoom in too, Ronna. So there's, yep, you got it.
Talking about jobs before NYPD came over.
Those you did?
Me and Maritza both retired NYPD cops, so I don't know if that's.
Things show up relevant to you guys all the time.
Yeah.
You guys brought somebody with you, so. I'm still learning about that camera, Ronna, so I'm staring at over your shoulder. If it's bugging you, just let me know.
Nope, not at all.
Spare boxes, we get anything else? Who's got it over here on this side?
We'll switch to that side for a few and see if anything.
Yeah. Here, another
Are there
two or
any
three.
questions that you would?
So this location, it's I don't really like have direct questions. Like, do you want to ask about her husband? Do you want to? Usually say don't poke the bear with the
Yeah,
baby,
that's why I'm like, because I.
But we've gotten things like
Yeah, but it could be the wind jack.
we've had some odd phrases show up while we've been here.
This Madonna, the Just Like a Prayer. I was trying to see what, but I couldn't.
Was
hear
that the
it.
lyric that you heard though?
Yeah.
Come on, dance.
You know, she was praying over her own grave.
Oh, because that's what came over. Just like a prayer.
I'm guessing this is more movement of trees and stuff. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than likely. A lot of layers in there for you.
Yeah.
Did you make a man? Where you at on your counter? What's your counter say? Doug, you got anything?
Constance turned the corner now.
Go higher.
Ghost hunting is all about patience. Wow, that's a big ghost you got there, dude. Alright, I think it's fair we could wrap this one up. Nobody's really like screaming different clues at me. Yeah, hit those stop buttons. Let me pull this down.
You gonna help him?
It opens up like a Batman mask. It does not go all the way around your head. Good luck. Make force feed with you. Alright, everybody. Come with me over here.
May the odds be.
He became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. A pretty big title in case you're not familiar with the English world. Anyway, he has a son as he's doing pretty well with his writing. The son's name is Willie, and he's born on Christmas Eve, but he died 9 months later. That is our last dead baby of the night because it is our last story. I'm sorry. The stories of Charleston. I can't help it. Anyway, very sad for him and his wife Katie. Henry's not writing as much. Here's a writer friend he went to school with. His name is Paul. He offers him his cottage in Columbia and says, go get back on track, leave Katie behind to mourn with her parents that were here visiting. He took him up on the offer. He goes out to the cottage. He wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, which basically in modern day English means dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. Perfect way for a writer to go. But wait, there's more. Are we at the hour of the infomercials? I think we are. We're here because of the bloodstain. The bloodstain is shown one day a year at the Charleston Library Society, but you have to be a member to be able to go see it, and they only show it on Halloween. The reason why is it looks like a man writing at his desk. We call it the Blood Book. You have to be a member to go see it, but the internet's beautiful. So I'm going to show you an image of it, and we're going to go talk to those people as if they're the ghosts. And Henry isn't always happy with me poking the bear, so we're going to see what we can get out of him tonight. Here is your bloodstain, what we call the Blood Book. Final page, you can see what that looks like, a man writing at his desk. Of course, it's under glass when you go see it. Not that that tuberculosis is still alive, but you see the point. It's pretty gross to be wanting to touch somebody else's tuberculosis that they died from. But for me as a writer, this page tells the whole story. Dear person.
Okay.
Somebody will need to tap you on the shoulder. It's never going to be me, just so you know. And then when you're done, they're going to tap you on the leg. Take off your own gear, never touch you. It'll always be a family member. So if you're not talking loud enough, which might be an issue, somebody may lift up your headphone and just say the word loud. You're going to literally tell me everything that you hear out of your spirit boxes, including yes, no answers, because you don't know what I'm asking. So just tell me whatever you're hearing. Make sure both ears are covered and that you cannot mess with your volumes. Once you find your volume, set the device aside so we know you guys don't cheat. You can't because you're not going to find the damn buttons, because I can't find the damn buttons because it's still new. With yours, virtual reality is not going to be Jurassic Park eating off your face. That's not how this one works, okay? Gentlemen, can you hear me? Turn it up then. Turn it up. Keep going, keep going. There you go. What color is a blue banana? Perfect. You can't hear me. It is 11:06. So Henry, I got some folks here on the bench. They're a little younger than what we normally have. So if you want to tell us about your job, about your work, that would be fantastic. We'll start there. In the event this is blurry, your focus is right here. Turn that knob. There you go. Henry. You might have to remind them to talk. Henry. Yeah, lift up this headphone. Henry. I have to come through a little bit more clear. These gentlemen don't always get the concept of this. You can remind them. That's okay. I'm still learning about it.
He said the world.
Your world. Henry, let's talk about your work. Can you tell us what you do for a living?
Oh, he
Just to
traveled.
verify that you're here.
He traveled the
Now
world.
at least you can see
The
whatever
world.
you want us to see. Give her some images. She doesn't want to fall asleep in there. Phil's just waving it around like he's at Hogwarts. Henry, what did you do for work? Wow, dead silent. Is excited? You got something?
It's like a picture, and it looks like an auditorium. It's like an old theater.
Okay.
And,
Anybody in that theater?
yeah, it's full of people.
Okay. Anybody specific or just a crowd?
No, just a crowd. And then like on the stage, it's just like a blue background, but it's not like anything else.
Okay. Nothing specific yet. Remember, I want to remind everybody that can hear me that Dr. Ladd will show up here from time to time. His house is right around the corner, so this is a place that he loves to sneak in with. His code word is purple, so if either one of these two guys say the word purple, obviously we know he's nearby. It's not a common word you hear on the radio. As excited as these two guys were to do this,
What do they gotta do?
Sure. They got it. Okay. Maybe Jackson. Remind him. He hasn't said anything yet.
Anything?
If you hear it, just say it.
If you hear anything, just say it. Not loud. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes it's just going and it just, you can't pick up.
It's not easy.
No.
But I normally, like for this experiment, I always pick the people that have had the most time with these spirit boxes.
Right.
Because you get, obviously, the
Right, right, right.
listen to it, but again, as excited as these two guys were, I thought for sure they would have picked up on it right away. Henry, you got to come forward a little bit more clear. They're struggling with the boxes that make the white noise for us. Use that frequency. I don't know what the theater is, the auditorium that you gave us, so I'm going to count that as nothing until something else pops through.
Unless it's from the doctor and the actress.
Could have been. When she said there was a blue curtain or something blue on the stage, I was waiting for something to say purple, and I would have known for certain.
Right.
I see where you're going though, because that was my first thought too.
Yeah, but some purples can be blue, some purples can look, depending on.
And we'll be able to
That's
see
true.
that image, like when she's done. Like I'll be able to show you guys all the images, and it goes in your report. And I analyzed the hell out of it with Google Lens.
Hmm.
Henry, two gentlemen on the bench. They have not said more than 2 words apiece. Natalie, that's something that you don't put any images. You've seen it about an average report.
When the angel came.
When an angel came.
Henry, we're asking about your work. I'm going to stay to that topic. Can you tell us what you did for a living?
When? I never know.
Henry, what did you do for work to support your family? You can show us an image of your work. We'll all identify it.
Get some answers.
He said,
Henry,
he said when, they never know, etc.
I'm just really surprised he hasn't said anything. I think he gets the concept. I think we're just struggling with these spirit boxes.
You're getting what? No spikes either.
Henry, it's been about 6.5 minutes. If you want us to go home, you know your code word. Would you like us to leave you alone? So you gotta tell us.
I saw the blame.
You wanna talk about your father? Tell us what he did for a living. sound did we just hear? Why don't you give us a picture of the sound we heard? Gotta give us more images, Henry. We're struggling with the frequencies coming through. One more image, Henry. We'll call it quits. We'll go on. Henry.
$7 meal.
Henry wants dinner.
He's hungry.